Hello guys, welcome to the channel. In this video we will talk about the cursors. We will talk about what are the types of cursors and what are the purposes of the cursors, how to declare the cursors, and what are the cursor attributes, and one of the major features of the cursor, that is cursor for loop. So let's get started. First we will talk about what are cursors. Have several definitions, like when we see the cursor from the client side, it is a handle to the specific private SQL area inside the program global area, and from this, when seen from the server side, it is a state of query execution. But programmatically, we can take cursors as implicit and explicit cursors. Implicit cursors are maintained by the database itself, and explicit cursors are maintained by the programmers. So this is all about the cursor definition. Now comes the purpose of cursors. Cursors are basically used to retrieve the data from the database using the SQL query, one row at a time. So this is the major purpose to declare the cursors. Now to declare a cursor, we can have a declaration using the two ways, that is implicit and explicit. Implicit cursors are basically select statements that are that I have, as I have already told you, that these are maintained internally by the database. So there is no such thing as declaration of implicit cursors. But to declare the explicit cursors, we need to use a specific command for that. So first we will show you the implicit cursor types. Let's use an anonymous block to declare a implicit cursor. Like we can first we need to create one table from which we will be retrieving our records. So let's create a table. Now we have created our table. Let's put some records into this table so that we can retrieve it. So using the script statement, we will insert the records into the table, and then we will commit so that these are persisted inside the database. Using the select command over the table, we can check that these records are inserted in the table or not. So after running the statement, we are able to see the records. There are two columns that I have added to the table. Column names are column A and column B. Column A has 1 2 3 4 as its values in the records, and column B also have the same records. So now let's declare a select statement that will be retrieving records from the table name test cursor, with the condition that the column A must be having a value of 1. Call A equals 1. So in that way, and we will be retrieving both the columns, column A and column B. To hold the values inside the anonymous block, we need to declare our variables that will be holding the values returned by the select statement. So let's declare two variables. First will be we call A. It will be of same type as the underlying table for which we are declaring the variable. The same way we will be declaring v call b. So now that we have declared our two variables, we can put them into the into clause that will be holding the values. So in that way we have used a select statement inside the execution block of a anonymous block. So after putting this, we are saying that this is an implicit cursor that will be managed by the Oracle itself. Oracle will open the cursor and retrieve the records from the test cursor table, and then after retrieving and putting the values into the v call a and v call b, the cursor will be closed implicitly. So after running it, we are able to see that the anonymous block is completed. Or we can print the values on the console using the dbms underscore output dot put underscore line call a is and call b is, it is showing anonymous block completed, and on the output screen we are able to see both the variables that is holding the record from the table called test cursor, holding the values of the record where the condition call a equals to 1 is true. That is, this record call a equals to 1 is only true in this particular first record. So in this way we are able to declare our implicit cursor. Now let's move towards the next part, that is explicit cursors. Explicit cursors are declared using the cursor command. Let's assume that the cursor will have a name called c1. Now in place of putting the query inside the execution block, we will be putting the same query inside the cursor c1 is command. So in that way the underlying query is same, the only difference is we are explicitly declaring our cursor. Let's comment it. Now that we have declared our cursor, we can actually run this command, but it will not print the values. V call A and V call B are both having null values currently because we have only declared our cursor using the cursor c1 command. We need to first to use the records or to retrieve the records from the test cursor table. We need to first open the cursor and then only we will be able to fetch the records. So to do that, we will be using the open cursor command, open c1, then we will use the loop as there might be more than one records retrieving from the underlying cursor. We will use the loop and end loop with the exit condition. Inside this loop we will fetch the records from the cursor one by one using the fetch cursor name command. After fetching the records, we can use those records according to our need. Like in this case, we are printing the values from the variables that have been initialized by the cursor. Now that we have we have placed the dbms underscore output line here, we can close our cursor using the close C1, that is close cursor name. So this particular code is like open C1, that in this line we are opening the cursor, then using the loop and loop we are fetching the records from the underlying query of the cursor, that is this select query, and then we are fetching the records one by one and doing operations on those records, like in this case we are printing the values. So let's try to run it. It is showing some error. It is showing error because I have not put the semicolon here. The script output is showing anonymous block completed, and on the output screen we are able to see the records. This particular code is showing the same record twice because I have put the exit condition after the printing line, printing code. So I need to put it first here, and then only I will be using the record. If the condition is satisfied, like exit when condition is satisfied, then only the no execution command will be executed after the exit when condition. So in that way I will be printing only one line, that is column A is 1 and column B is 1. Let's try to understand this one more time. It is showing anonymous block completed, and on output it is showing column A is 1 and column B is 1. It is showing because the underlying SQL query is retrieving one record and it is being printed using the dbms underscore output command. So in that way we can declare our explicit cursors using the cursor name is command, and then we can explicitly open those cursors and loop through the cursor records to do our operation as required. Then we need to close the cursor using the close cursor name command. So after that, now that we have covered the declarations of the cursors, we need to cover the cursor attributes. Cursor attributes are basically the values that Oracle database internally manages, and for our purposes, for the programmers, so that they can get the values for the cursor attributes, means for the current state of what the query is executing. So these are of four types, that is percent found, percent not found, is open, and row count. So we will check the values of these four attributes inside our implicit and explicit cursors. First, have a look on the implicit cursors for all these cursor attributes. Let's comment this explicit cursor and uncomment our implicit cursor one more time. Now we will print our cursor attributes here. We will try to print our all four cursor attributes one by one. First one is found, second is not found, third one is open, fourth one is row count. After running the code, we are facing some error. Let's try to find out what these errors are. First one is showing wrong number or type of arguments in code to this. This is showing because the SQL percent found is of type boolean and we cannot concatenate the boolean type with the string type. So we need to handle this using the case command. As this is boolean and the case statement can take the boolean values, so we can directly use it using the case when. This will be considered as a condition. Then we will be printing the true as a string, and if the condition is false, we will take the condition false as a string. Same way we will be handling the SQL percent not found, and SQL percent is open. Now let's try to run this particular code again. So now it is completed. We are able to see the values of cursor attributes for our implicit cursor. First one is showing SQL percent found is true. SQL percent found is basically returning true because the underlying implicit cursor is actually returning some value. If no values are returned, then this particular SQL percent found will be would have been returning the false value, and the not found is always the logical opposite of percent found, so it will print false in this case. And cursor attribute for is open is returning false because, as I've already told you, that the implicit cursors are managed by the Oracle itself inside the database. So it is opened and closed implicitly. So when after execution of this statement here, this particular implicit cursor got closed. So at this particular line, the is open is showing false, and the SQL percent row count is showing 1 because the SQL percent row count returns the rows that got affected by the previous implicit cursor. So that's why it is printing 1. Now let's change the value of column A with the where condition with column A equals to 0. Now let's try to find out how these attribute values got changed. First, it is showing no data found because we have no data for value 0 inside the table that we are using in the cursor. As you can see that there is no record with call equals to 0, so we need to handle it using the exception handling. Now in this particular piece of code we have handled the exception that would be raised by the implicit cursor with the exception block, that is when exception when no data found, then initialize the put the values in both the call A and call B variables with the 0. Now let's try to run it again, and we are successful in running the code, and the values are showing for the cursor attributes as follows. Found is false. Found is false because there is no record for call equals to 0 inside the table, as I have already shown you. Here there are only 4 records with call A having values 1, 2, 3 and 4. No 0 values there. So this particular found is showing false, and not found is showing true because the not found always returns the opposite of found. As in this particular implicit cursor, record is not found, so it is showing true. Is open is showing false because the implicit cursor got implicitly closed right after the execution, and row count is returning 0 because there are no records that got returned by the implicit cursor. So in this way we are able to see the cursor attribute values for the implicit cursors.